Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to your Rangers Review News Bulletin this Monday, the 14th of April. I hope you're all doing well on this fine afternoon. Lots of Rangers stories doing the rounds with a huge week in store. Biggest week of the season, there's no doubt about that, ahead of Thursday's Europa League quarter-final second leg away to Athletic Club of Bilbao. Lots of fallout from yesterday up at Pittodrie, as you can imagine, as Rangers clawed back a 2-goal deficit to salvage a point at Pittodrie against Aberdeen, down to 10 men for much of that game, following the sending off, the first half dismissal of Ross McCausland. And that's where we'll start with regards to today's news, because Barry Ferguson has been speaking about Ross and his double yellow in the first half. He said, I spoke to Ross at half-time and after the game, told him, you can't be making a mistake like that when you're on a booking, he told Sky Sports. So maybe at that stage when he got booked, because he had a couple of tackles, maybe I should have made the decision earlier to substitute him. But it happened. He got correctly a second yellow and a red card. But then it's backs to the wall stuff again. So that's what Barry had to say on Ross McCausland. A real nightmare afternoon for the Northern Irishman at Pittodrie yesterday. He was one of the topics of discussion on the morning briefing when I was on with Joshua earlier. He had a great chance to really show what he's all about yesterday, and he never took it. He was poor prior to the sending off. It was a wild challenge if you're on a yellow already. I really have no idea what's going through his head when he's sliding into that. But yeah, I said it on the show this morning. I would be inclined to even fine him a week's wages for that, for putting his teammates in such a sorry state at that point. Another man down. Rangers cannot keep getting guys sent off and making life difficult for themselves. And yeah, it really was a dreadful afternoon for young Ross. We also discussed on the briefing this morning what his future may hold. Perhaps in the summertime, should there be a parting of the ways and McCausland moving on to get regular game time elsewhere. He's at an age where he really needs to be looking at his time that has been spent on the pitch. I don't think he's necessarily got the quality to play for Rangers week in, week out. I'm sure he can do a turn at a club elsewhere. So that is what Barry had to say on Ross McCausland. Another big talking point from the game at the weekend was the injury sustained by Rafa Fernandez, someone who was we've not really seen much since signing on loan from Lille in the January window. He started yesterday, it lasted all of, 18 minutes before hobbling off. Barry Ferguson told Rangers TV after the game it was a hamstring injury. I don't know how long he's going to be out, so that's another one to add to the long list. I'll just have to wait until tomorrow and Tuesday to see who I've got to go with on Thursday night, and obviously make my decisions on what way I'm going to approach it and what personnel I'm going with. So, yeah, hugely unfortunate for Rafa Fernandez. I'm sure he'd have been itching for game time. He got his chance yesterday and, yeah, hobbled off. If it's a hamstring injury, will we see him again in a Rangers jersey before the end of the season? And then in turn, will we see him again? He hasn't really played much since arriving. I remember when he signed and Clement said that he's not played a game for almost a year. So don't expect to see him soon. Times we have seen him, he hasn't really impressed, has he? So, yeah, it would not surprise me if he was to depart in the summer. It just simply hasn't worked. Just staying on Barry, Ali McCoist had plenty to say about the Rangers interim manager on TalkSport this morning. He spoke about a number of things. On Ferguson, he said about his chances of taking Rangers next season. He said, if you're asking me for my honest opinion, I think the new owners will probably look for their own man. What Barry has done is he has shown that he's more than capable of handling it, and I would suggest that he's done a good job. And he continued, I just think with the way the club's going, I think with the new owners, he's done well enough to come into the conversation, absolutely. However, I think they'll go down an avenue where they want to bring in their own man or their own people. But on another train of thoughts, if they do that, would a new man want to keep him on in some capacity? There's another idea for you. So, yeah, that's what Ali McCoist had to say. He also said if they can get through this tie on Thursday, because I tell you right now, he'll come back into the equation about Barry being considered for the permanent job at Rangers. I think listen, I think the new owners are the only guys that will have a say on that. Of course, it will be interesting to see if Barry can get past the master tactician in Ernesto Valverde. Whether that surely will have impressed the new owners. So, huge game. Of course, we touched on it. There's no over-egging it here. It is massive. And if Barry can get the better of Bilbao, I've said it on a number of shows now, for me, that would eclipse Leipzig in Bilbao in terms of the impressiveness of getting past a top quality outfit. Probably up there with Leipzig anyway, getting past that semi-final to make it to the final, because this is a top team. Yeah, but they've given themselves a chance, Rangers, as we said. That's all that we asked for in that first leg at Ibrox, and they've certainly done that. And we have been buoyed by the potential news that Athletic Bilbao winger Inaki Williams faces a race to be fit in time for the game. He suffered a hamstring strain in their match against Rayo Vallecano yesterday in La Liga. They came from behind Bilbao to win by 3-1, but he went off in injury time after complaining of a hamstring strain. He scored 11 goals this season. He's one of their top performers. Now, Valverde afterwards says, we'll have to wait and see. It's true that he had a slight discomfort and I didn't want him to continue just in case. We had to avoid a dangerous situation, so I decided to tell him to leave the pitch without a substitute to replace him. If you're on the pitch, there's always a chance that you can make a run and the problem can be bigger. Now, Valverde also insisted his team are full of confidence ahead of that game on Thursday night. They ended a goal-scoring drought that lasted 334 minutes after a penalty from Oyhan Sanchez, who netted a double in that game. Nico Williams also scored. Valverde said it was always clear we would get back to scoring goals. Sometimes it just doesn't go our way, and when you're trying to score goals, but we kept going leading up to the game against Rangers. What happened against Rayo Vallecano was important to us because a comeback win with some beautifully crafted goals makes people a little happier, but we won't go into the game with overconfidence. They'll certainly be strengthened if Inaki Williams can make the game. So that's potentially big news coming out from the Bilbao camp this morning. We'll hear from Ernesto Valverde on Wednesday around noontime. Should hear from him. Joshua will be at that for us at the San Mamés Stadium, so we'll get I'm sure he won't give too much away, the Bilbao coach, but yeah, that was potentially big news because he is a top player, arguably the better performing better performing Williams brothers this season. I know Nico gets all the headlines given his exploits with Spain and what have you. He's a real superstar. The pair of them are class acts, but Inaki, yeah, top performer. If he is unable to make the game, then I'm sure will not be too unhappy about that. Mohamed Diamandi was speaking after the game yesterday. He came on as a second half substitute and he was speaking about heading over to Bilbao with belief, and this is what he had to say.
Not everybody can have this chance, the chance we have now to play in the semi-final, and it's going to start on Thursday. So we are really together, and then we just believe. Yeah, we believe we can do it. And for me, watching the game from the stand on last Thursday, I think we have a chance to make it in Bilbao.
So there's Mo Diomandi, of course, missed the first leg. He will be back for that second leg, as will John Souttar. Welcome return for the pair of them. It will be intriguing to see the team that Barry selects for the game. Question marks over who leads the line, perhaps. Who starts at right wing back? Joshua, interestingly, suggested that Ridvan may be starting out there. We have seen that at times this season with Shefty over on the left. Maybe Sterling, Souttar and Balogun at the back. Does Clinton and Enciala start at the back? Who knows? But yeah, listen, there'll be lots of build-up on the Rangers Review channel up until Thursday. Cannot wait for it. So we'll wrap up there. Big thank you to you all for watching the latest update on this wonderful football club. Those of you that are Rangers Review Extra members, we're recording our weekly Q&A this afternoon. Tomorrow morning, I'll be on with Stevie, who'll join us. He was actually in the away end at Batodri on Sunday, so fair to say he'll have enjoyed his experience there. So yeah, very much looking forward to chatting all things Rangers again, as we always are, of course. Enjoy whatever you're doing on this Monday afternoon, folks, and we'll speak to you again soon. Bye for now.